Hi everyone, welcome back to another one of my lessons. So for today's lesson, we will be doing an activity called Change Unknown. So for this lesson, you will need this mat and this and these math stories. So this will be posted in my Google Classroom under the name Change Unknown. So for this lesson, I will be reading you word problems. We will be using these Change Unknown word mats to help us figure out the problem, because these are special math stories or word problems and that they do not give us all the information to figure out the problem. So I'm going to go through the first one and show you how to figure out these math stories. So let's get started. Okay, as we can see here, our Change Unknown mat has a box right here to write the total number. It has a box right here to write what I know, so what the math word problem is telling us. And then here, it has what I need to find out, and it has a question mark. So that means there's a part of the math story or word problem that we don't know yet and we need to figure out. So let's get started by looking at the problem. Now it says, Ben found 3 rocks on Monday. He found more rocks on Tuesday. In all, he found 8 rocks. How many rocks did Ben find on Tuesday? So let's go through that problem again. So Ben found 3 rocks. I'm going to underline it because this is a very important part of the problem. Now, where it says what I know, I'm going to write 3 rocks. So I already know that Ben has 3 rocks. So let me write that 3 better. Now, on the problem, let me fix this. On the problem, it says he found more rocks on Tuesday. In all, he found 8 rocks. So the total number would be 8 rocks because that's what he has in all. So I'm going to write the number 8. How many rocks did Ben find on Tuesday? So in our word problem, it doesn't say how many rocks Ben found on Tuesday. So we have to figure it out with the information that we have. Now we have to find out here how many rocks he found on Tuesday. So right there, I wrote that we need to find out how many rocks Ben found on Tuesday. Now, the easiest way to do this would be to create a word problem. So we have 3 plus a certain amount of rocks equals 8. So we need to find that missing number. So 3 plus something will equal the 8 rocks that Ben found. In order to do this, we can do 8 minus 3 to find out the answer. So let's do 8 minus 3 right here. So 8 minus 3 is 5. Now, you can figure out the problem this way, or if you need to, you can draw circles to show your work. So right here, let me draw 8 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I need to subtract 3. So I'm going to X out 3. 1, 2, 3. So then let's see how many I have left. I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 left. So that means 5 is that missing number right here. Now, let's look back at our question. How many rocks did Ben find on Tuesday? So he found 5. Let's review that again. First, Ben found 3 rocks. So on the what I know box, I wrote 3 rocks. Then he found more rocks on Tuesday, but we don't know how many he found on Tuesday because the word problem does not tell us that information. Now let's keep reading. In all, he found 8 rocks. Now, these two words, in all, are very important because that means in total or altogether, he found 8 rocks. That's why in the box where it says total number, I wrote 8 because it says in all, he found 8 rocks. Now, the question asks, how many rocks did Ben find on Tuesday? Now, because we only knew the total number and that he had already found 3 rocks, we needed to find out how many rocks Ben found on Tuesday. And in order to do that, I wrote a number sentence. I wrote 3 plus blank, because remember at first we didn't know that number, equals 8. In order to figure this number out, I did the total minus 3. So I did 8 minus 3 equals 5. An easier way to do this is to draw 8 rocks or circles, X out 3, and then we counted that there were 5 left. So to answer the question, how many rocks did Ben find on Tuesday? He found 5 rocks. Now, let's move on to the next one. Now for the next one, I'm going to do it with you. Then you will do the next ones by yourself. Now let's look at our next problem and we're going to work out this one together. Now our problem says 7 fish swam by. Some more fish joined them. Now there are 11 fish. How many fish joined the fish swimming by? Now it's important to underline that 7 fish swam by. So what I know is that there are 7 fish that swam by. So I'm just going to write here 7 fish. Now let's keep reading. Some more fish joined them. Now there are 11 fish. So that's our total number. So we're going to write it here in the total number box. So now there are 11 fish. Now the question asks, how many fish joined the fish swimming by? Now, let's look at this box, the what I need to find out box. Now, we look at our question, we need to find out how many fish joined the fish swimming by. So I'm going to write that right here. Okay, so right here, just to make it short, I wrote how many fish joined the one swimming by. Now, in order to do this problem, let's create an addition problem. So we have 7 fish plus blank because we don't know how many fish joined the fish swimming by yet. So we're going to leave it blank, and that equals 11. So we turned it into an addition problem. Now we're missing this part. Now, in order to find this out, we're going to get that total, put it up here, and we're going to subtract the first number, which is 7, from that number. Now we're going to do 11 minus 7, so then we're going to figure it out right here. Now we cannot subtract 1 minus 7 because the bigger number needs to be on top in order for us to subtract. So let's borrow from the tens place. We're going to scratch out that 1. That turns into the 0. Then since we borrowed that 1, we're going to put it over here. So we're going to scratch out that 1. It's going to turn into an 11. So 11 minus 7 equals 4. Now, an easier way to do that is to just draw 11 fish and then take away 7. But instead of fish, I'm going to draw circles. So let's get started. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we need to subtract 7 because remember, we have this addition problem and we need to find that missing part. But in order to do that, we're going to have to subtract 7 from 11. So 11 minus 7. So let's take away 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I will have 4 fish left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put the 4 here. That's my missing part. So 7 plus 4 equals 11. Now let's look back at our question. How many fish joined the fish swimming by? Well, 4 fish joined the fish swimming by. Now you are going to do the next 2 problems on your own. I'm going to show you the problem, and if you have a printer, please print this out at home. If not, create your own at home. So here's the problem, and I'm going to read it to you. John saw 5 blackbirds. Then he saw some bluebirds. John saw 12 birds in all. How many bluebirds did John see? So here's the problem. Pause the video, then press play when you are ready to see my answer. Now, I worked out this problem and I'm going to go through it real quick so you can check your answer. Now, for the what I know part, I know that there are 5 blackbirds. For the total, I know that there are 12 birds. What I need to find out, how many bluebirds did John see? So that's what I need to find out. So what I did was I created an addition problem. So I put 5 plus blank equals 12. So just pretend you don't see that 7 there for right now. Now, in order to figure out what went in that blank, I did a subtraction problem. I took that total, I put it up here, and then I subtracted that first number. So 12 minus 5 equals 7. And I also did it with circles. I drew 12 circles, I X'd out 5 of them, and then I circled the circles that I have left, and I only had 7 left. So I put the 7 right here because 5 plus 7 equals 12. Now, how many bluebirds did John see? John saw 7 bluebirds. Now let's do our last one. And remember, you are going to do this one by yourself. But first, let me read it to you. Lynn has 9 buttons. She buys more. Lynn has 18 buttons in all. How many did she buy? So here's the question. So you can read it by yourself and you can see it. Now remember, if you have one of these at home or create your own, so it can help you solve your word problem. So pause the video right now, press play when you're ready for the answer. So let's go over our last problem. Now for our last problem, Lynn has 9 buttons and she buys more. Lynn has 18 buttons in all. How many did she buy? So I know that the total number of buttons that she has is 18. So in that total number box, I wrote 18 buttons. In the what I know box, I know that she has 9 buttons. And the what I need to find out box, I know that I need to find out how many did Lynn buy. So how many buttons did she buy? Now, in order to do this, I created an addition problem. So 9 plus blank equals 18. Now, in order to figure out what's in that blank, I'm going to take that total number and I'm going to subtract 9 from this total number. So right here, I did 18 minus 9 and I figured it out. That's 9. And a simpler way to do this is I drew 18 circles. I X'd out 9, and then right here, I only have 9 left. So, since I only have 9 left here, and then I also got the answer as 9 here, I'm going to write that in my blank. So, 9 plus 9 equals 18. So, let's go back to that question of what we need to find out. How many did she buy? She bought 9 buttons. So that's all for today's video. Thank you for participating.